Good afternoon, all. So, in our previous lecture, we have started with uh, this software engineering, okay, and we have seen couple of things like definition, and we have also seen what are the topics that we are going to cover throughout the subjects. Okay, then we have seen the software and engineering definition and what software engineering exactly means. Then we have seen the two dual roles by software, like one as a product, the delivery of software as a product, and one when software acts as a vehicle for delivering a product. And we have also seen examples for that also, right? Then we have seen the importance of software engineering. Then we have focused on quality and maintainability, which is nothing but the two main focus area of software engineering. Quality encompasses of functional and non-functional quality, like features or functionalities delivered or provided by particular software. And non-functional quality means nothing but like maintainability, reliability, etc. So all those things which are not the features, not the functionality of a product of a software comes under this non-functional quality. And another thing is maintainability. Maintainability is what we just have to maintain our software product even though we have delivered hand over it to our customers. Okay, then we have covered the types of software and their examples. Now the next topic is that software engineering. Why software engineering is uh, said as a layered technology, as a layered approach. So as you can see in this diagram, there are four basic components of software engineering, or you can say the four main layers of software engineering. And these are the layers, these are nothing but the tools, methods, processes, and quality. Okay. And if we read it from bottom to top, means that the most important layer of software engineering is quality. After that comes processes, meaning that we follow some specific particular process to develop any software. Okay, that process involves various kinds of methods, and also at the time of development of the software, when we use these different kinds of processes, methods, we also use some kinds of tools, whether they are automated or they can be semi-automated, but we use some kind of tools too. So that is the reason that software engineering is defined as a four main layers, and these are the layers. So we can say that a software engineering comprises of this process, a set of methods for managing and developing the software, the collection of tools, quality, etc. All those things. Now, all those four layers, we can say that this quality is the bedrock that supports software engineering. Okay, meaning that the quality is the main most important layer for our software engineering. So we'll see each of these layers one by one, starting with the quality. So as we already know that qualities, and we have seen that these qualities are of two types. Okay, functional quality and non-functional, or you can say the structural quality, which we have seen. Okay, so I'll just quickly repeat that. So when we say this, that functional quality is maintained in a software, it means that whatever the software that we have developed, that is doing all the required that is doing all the required tasks that it was supposed to do. That means the functional quality means the degree to which we have developed the correct software. Okay, so we can say that the software which we have developed has all those features and functionalities which customer wants, or you can say it is as per the business requirement. So we can say that the software has a functional quality if it is satisfying all those user requirements. Now, what do we mean by this non-functional or structural quality? So, as I told you, it deals with those things that are not related with the features or functionalities, even though they are very much useful and required, and they are also as much important as those functional qualities, like you can say maintainability, robustness, then reliability, scalability, etc. All those things. So we can say that if our software has all these kinds of features, then we can say that our software is satisfying all the customer requirements, all the business requirements, and giving desired features. Along with this, it is also fulfilling the non-functional and functional requirements. Okay, and thus, so we can say that in our software, both the qualities are maintained. Both the qualities like functional and non-functional qualities are maintained. So we can say that to ensure this quality, to ensure the quality of the software, that your software is the quality software, there are various kinds of techniques that are followed in industry, or you can say that at the same time of software development process, one of the main major techniques to ensure this quality of the software is Six Sigma technique that we'll study later on. And then another one is the total quality management. Okay, you can say TQM, total quality management, and the Six Sigma technique. So we have to remember that this quality is the most important layer, and the quality of the software must be ensured at the time of software engineering process. And that's why we have put quality at the bottom, because all the processes, methods, tools rest on the quality only. Okay, so that is the main focus. Now coming to the next layer, which is the process. So you can say that a process is basically a set of activities and actions that are performed. Okay, a set of different kinds of activities which you require to develop the software, or the actions that you perform throughout your software engineering lifecycle. That must be the processes that must be undertaken to fulfill the software or to develop the software, and that is the required one. So we can say that it is a framework, one kind of framework that must be established for effective delivery of your software. Now, what do you mean by this word framework? We can say that process is a framework that must be established for effective delivery of software. So this framework is nothing but a set of steps. You can say a set of established steps that must be carried out so that we can develop the software in the best possible way. So we can say that a process is like a roadmap, and with the help of that we can know how to proceed, how to develop the software, right? Are you getting me? Yes. Okay. So another main reason we can say that why this process layer of software engineering is important is that it also helps us in the timely development of the software. Why it helps us to develop the software in time? Because if we are following one predefined process in which we know that this much work will be completed by this time, or by this time this many functionalities must be delivered to the customer, to the client, so at the end we can be able to deliver our software on time to the customers. If and only if we are following some predefined process, we have to manage all the things at the early stage, okay, so that we can follow that procedure. Okay, then another important reason that this process layer is important layer is that it helps us in management and control of the software project. Now, what is this management control? So you can say whenever a software is being developed, we have to manage, we have to control of the steps that are being taken, all the activities which are being carried out, uh, the software, at what time we want to deliver our software, the schedule of the software delivery. So all those things we need to take care, we need to manage those things, we need to control them. Okay, if the software delivery is getting late or is it being affected by any risk, then it might possible that company has to pay some loss. Okay, so for that we have to manage, we have to control all those things during while we are developing our software. So all those things are decided while we are uh, we are processing through this software development life cycle. So process basically helps us in defining the set of activities that are essential to the timely development of the software, or you can say quality development of the software. And it manages the software project, or you can say the entire software very well if we follow some particular approach, some predefined approach. Okay, so we have to define that approach whenever you get some requirements or whatever. Now, coming to the methods. So you can say a process consists of several methods. That means a process defines what we have to do, or when a situation arises, how we have to tackle that situation. But the technical solutions are provided by methods. Okay, that means like a process would say uh, process, if we compare process and method, so we can say that process would say we would use object oriented language for this in developing or in writing the code. But what method will do, a method would say that, or it would actually define what would be that language, what would be that object oriented language that you should use to develop that particular feature or particular software. Okay, so process will just tell you that you should use this, but actually the method will tell you that you have to use which particular language or which particular technology would be great for that particular software or particular features, and how the components should be written and how they interact with each other. All those things are decided, or it will be helpful help from the method layer. So the method is a way of defining, you can say, the technical part while building a software. It consists of various tasks, and each method consists of, you can say, the multiple tasks. Okay, just like process consists of several methods, and just like that, each method consists of multiple tasks. And these tasks are like, you can say that the task can be the requirement analysis, program construction, testing, support, etc. So you can say that each method consists of multiple tasks. Now, again, this support, which is also one of the tasks. So this requirement analysis, program construction, testing, support, all those are the example of the task. So you can say this support is also one kind of maintenance after the software has been delivered to the customer. And still, if the customer is facing any problem, or if he or she needs some changes, and they may ask some changes, so you need to provide that support to the customers. So all those things are handled by this methods layer. Now coming to tools. So as I told you earlier, that tools can be either automated in nature or semi-automated. Okay. Now If it is automated, then you can say they are completely doing everything that is required of them on their own. Or they can be tools can be the semi-automated in nature. So basically, we can say that the tools provide support to process and methods to develop the software. Again, tools provide support to the layers, this process and methods to develop the software. Okay, so as summary of all these layers, we can say that process is like a roadmap which we have to follow, okay, to develop the software. Methods is what? It actually tell us which way we have to take, okay, which way we should take in that map, in that roadmap, and which way we should not take. Okay, basically it tells us the detailing part, what we have to follow and what we don't have to follow. So they define the technical part in the process. And what about tools? Tools will help us on different stages, and they can be automated or semi-automated. Now there is one more term when we talk about these tools, and that is nothing but a CAD, that is computer aided design. Okay, or you can say computer aided software. So that computer aided software is nothing but, you can say, a set of tools, okay, that the output CAD is nothing but a set of tools such that the output, how it is defined. So you can say the output of one tool is being utilized by another tool. The output of one tool is being utilized by another tool, or we can say the different tools are working together to run the software or to provide the functionalities in the software. Okay, or to provide the support in that software, we can also use the tools. So we can say that a computer aided software is nothing but a set of tools working together to deliver a functionality in the software and provide the support in the software, right? So this is how a software engineering, we can say, works as a layered technology or a layered approach. And it is just basically having the 4 layers: method, tools, methods, processes, and quality. And the quality is the main one, important one. And whatever the process or method or tool you're gonna use, then quality assurance is a must. Okay, we may use or we may not use the tools, but if we are using the tools, then they would help us by making our work easier in some way or the other way, because they are automating or semi-automating our process of software development. So you can say, if you use tools, then they would help us by making our work easier. So that's all about this software engineering as a layer technology, right? Are you getting this? Did you understand whatever we have covered so far? Okay. And what about others? Okay, good. So now, after this layer technology, the next topic is generic view of software engineering. So, um, As we know that this engineering is the combination of analysis, design, construction, verification, management of technical entities, and all those things. So from all of this, we can say, or we can define the generic view for the software engineering. Okay, and the work associated with this software engineering can be categorized into three main generic phases, regardless of whatever your application area, whatever your project size is, or how complex your project is. Okay, we can categorize this whole process into three generic phases. The first one is the definition, second is development, and third is the support phase. Okay, so what the definition phase is, so you can say that the definition phase mainly focuses on what. Okay, all the what questions are comes under this particular phase. Like during the definition, the software engineer, the what is the task of software engineer? So it just attempts to identify what information is to be processed, or what function and performance are desired, what system behavior can be expected, what kind of interfaces are to be established, or you can say, if we talk about design, then what design constraints exist and what validation criteria should be there or are required to define a successful system. So are you getting my point? All the what kind of thing will become under this particular definition phase, so that we can get idea. We will define our software product and its main intention. So the key requirement of the system and the software are identified by using this particular phase. Now, although the methods applied during the definition phase will vary depending on your software engineering paradigm, whatever which is like waterfall model or agile model or V model or any other model. Okay, that can be vary, but the main motive of this definition phase would remain same. Okay, and basically, if you talk about this SDLC process, then from that SDLC process, the planning phase or the analysis, requirement gathering, requirement analysis phase. So all those things will be covered under this definition phase. Are you getting me? Matlab, whatever the things we are going to gather, like all the requirements, and after getting the requirements, whatever the analysis we are going to do, so उससे हमें जो भी मिलेगा वो सारा that comes under this definition phase, right? I hope you are getting me. Now the development phase. So you can say the development phase focuses on how. That is, that means that during development, a software engineer attempts to define how data are to be structured, how function is to be implemented within a software architecture, how procedural details are to be implemented. Okay, how whatever the interface you have defined in that definition. Okay, so whatever the interfaces, I mean whatever the interfaces or the things, information that you have decided that you should use, okay, by asking that what questions, so you can have the answer that how you can do that things in this development phase, like how data are to be structured, or how interfaces to be characterized, or how design will be translated into a programming language, and how testing will be performed. So all those things come under this development phase. The methods which are applied during this development phase will again vary, but you can say that three specific technical tasks would remain same, like software design, then code generation, software testing. So this Development, you can say implementation and testing part will come under this development phase, the generic view of development, generic view of software engineering phase. Okay, and the third one and the important one is the support phase. Now what is this support phase says? So the support phase focuses on change. It focuses on change, whatever the change associated with error correction, adaptations required as the software's environment evolves, and whatever the changes due to enhancement. Okay, about like whatever the new requirements you receive from your customers, so you need to handle all those things. The support, you can say the support phase reapplies the steps of the definition and development phases, but it does so in context of existing software only. Okay, because whenever you receive some new requirement, you have to again work on it, and you develop those kind of features, you implement those features, and you need to again test that feature, and then again you have to hand over that feature to your customer. So you need to repeat the process again in this phase. Are you getting me? Okay. So basically, four types of change are encountered during the support phase. The first one is correction. As the name suggests, the meaning is same. Even you can say that even with the best quality assurance activities, it is likely that the customer will uncover defects in your software. So corrective maintenance changes the software to correct defects. Then comes the adaptation. So over time, you can say the original environment for which the software was developed is likely to change. So adaptive maintenance results in modification to the software to accommodate changes to its external environment, right? Then comes the enhancement. So you can say that as software is used, the customer, or you can say user, will recognize the additional function that will provide benefit. So the maintenance needs to be there. Maintenance extends the software to handle those new requirements. So it should be enhanced again. Then comes the prevention. So due to some kind of change or whatever is there, so you need to have some prevention kind of measures to be taken. Okay, and that must be conducted to enable the software to serve the needs of its users. Okay, just to satisfy the requirements, or uh, it ultimately your customer should be satisfied. Okay, so that you have to maintain all these things. See, the names are slightly different, but the ultimate goal of all these phases are the same. You just have to satisfy your customer, or you just have to satisfy all the requirements given by your customer when the customer has had given you the project to develop, right? Or also you can say the support activities includes like technical assistance or telephone help desk. Okay, like application specific website. We have come across these things that whenever we are facing some issues, we just have some kind of helpline numbers, so we can solve our issue by connecting with them, like. Okay, so prevention is what? So see, computer software have some kind of changes, or it deteriorates due to change, and because of that, preventive maintenance, and it is also often called software re-engineering, and it must be conducted to enable the software to serve the needs of its end user. Okay, and preventive maintenance makes changes to computer programs so that they can be more easily corrected, adapted, and enhanced. Okay, so for the benefit of customer only, we need to sometimes take some kind of preventive measures. Okay, to enhance our product, or to correct some issues, or to adapt some new kinds of changes. Okay, like that. Okay. So after that, the umbrella activity. Now these umbrella activities are connected with that generic view only. So as we have seen the phases and related steps, or what it focuses on, so it describes that in a generic view, all those things are, uh, we have just to define the generic phases for our software engineering. Okay, and we can say that this whenever you design a software, you have to consider some activities so that your software product will become efficient. So all this activity together form an umbrella, like a cover on a software product, so that your software product becomes best, becomes efficient, and it protects you from any inappropriate actions or activities. So that you need to perform all these kinds of activities, say umbrella activities or umbrella kind of thing will be created in a software product, just to ensure that all those phases are correctly implemented. Okay, so these activities will be helpful in order to perform all those phases. So if you perform all these activities, that means that your software product, or you can say your software, ultimate entire software is the most efficient one for the company or for the customer. So you can say these umbrella activities are applied throughout the software process. Okay, because all those three phases, three generic phases, the definition, development, and support, are nothing but it is going to cover ultimate SDLC life cycle, and these umbrella activities are going to be applied throughout these phases only, throughout this software process only. So these activities are like software project tracking and control, formal technical reviews, software quality assurance, software configuration management, document preparation and production, reusability management, measurement and metrics, risk management. Okay, we'll understand one by one each of these activities. So starting with the first one, software project tracking and control. So um, you can say that project tracking should be proper. Okay, like we have to maintain that what features are going to be in queue right now in your project. We need to track that. We need to track that whether they are going to be finished on time or not. Okay, whether your software project is working as per your timeline, or as per the timeline given by the customer. So you need to track all those things, okay, to achieve the desired output, to achieve the desired software. So you can achieve this by planning, by tracking the different tasks, and by applying appropriate models, software development life cycle models, like different models, like you can say waterfall model, or you implement V model, or agile methodology, whatever the methodology. But you can say that you need to select such methodology that you can achieve the efficient output. And For that, you need to track your project. You need to control the activities to make your project easygoing and to deliver that project on time. Okay. The next one is formal technical reviews. So you can say that this particular activity includes reviewing the techniques that has been used in your project. Okay, the technical word itself says that whenever you design one product, say for example, you decide that you are going to use this method, you are going to use this particular language, and you are going to implement this feature using this particular technique. But that is not the case. Uh, you need to go through all the techniques which are available, and from that available options, you have to decide that which option or which technique would be the best one in that particular scenario, which technique is the suitable one, and if that particular technique is going to work or not. Apart from that, you also need to review the techniques that has been currently used in your project. Okay, say for example, for a particular module, you are using some Angular JS methodology or Angular JS some technique like language. So you need to check. You need the technical team or the technical head will review that whether this particular language or this particular technique is going to be the efficient one for the project or not for that module. So this is just one kind of example that you need to review whatever the technical things that are going, whatever the technical activities, the techniques that you are going to use and you are currently using in your project. Otherwise, if you found that we can use some another methodology, another technique instead of the technique which you are using, so you can change and you can enhance it. Understood? Then comes the software quality assurance. So as we know that quality is the very important thing. So this activity, software quality assurance, is very important to ensure the quality measurement of each part to ensure them. Okay, so we need to maintain the quality, and for that we can use functional, and we need to check that whether functional and non-functional qualities are maintained or not. Then comes the software configuration management. So software configuration management, or you can say SCM, is a set of activities which are nothing but designed to control the change by identifying the work products that are likely to change and establish the relationship among those different activities, and by defining different mechanisms for managing different version of your work products. Because you know, it may possible that you have delivered your first version of your product. After that, you are working on that product again and you have enhanced some features. Okay, and now you are going to deliver your second version to your client. So you need to manage all those versions. Okay, there should not be any chaos with the old version and the new version. If something happens, then you need to take care of that. So the document preparation, the rest of the 4 activities will cover in the next lecture. Okay, I think tomorrow is our next lecture, right?